sunny Orlando, Florida viewers. DJ Aviator here. We're flying Southwest Airlines this evening from Orlando to the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana, in this beautiful Southwest Airlines state livery, New Mexico 1. As you can see, we're parked right next to two other aircraft adorned with Southwest special liveries, California 1 to our right, and Louisiana 1 to our left. So somehow, by some miracle of AI traffic placement, we have not two, but three Southwest state liveries parked at adjacent gates here at Orlando International. Our flight today should take us about an hour and a half going down to New Orleans. Our first officer is just out doing his walk around, so while he's doing that, let me go ahead and walk you through our flight plan, and then we'll do our pre-flight flows. Okay, welcome aboard the flight deck. Let me go ahead and pull up our flight plan here. Okay, so we're in Southwest Airlines flight 1219, Boeing 737-700, going from Orlando to New Orleans, Louisiana. We're using a cost index of 40, initial cruise altitude is flight level 360, and a total flight plan distance of 522 nautical miles. Average headwind component is about 22 knots. Carrying about 132 passengers today, and our trip fuel is 7,422 pounds. Trip time is an hour 23 minutes. Our alternate, should be needed, is Houston Hobby Airport, and we're going to be releasing with about 16,000 pounds of fuel on board. Our route of flight today will be departing via the Orlando 4 and then radar vectors Camden, Nost, Remus, then via the Yankee 280 airway to Redfin, Quebec 105 to HRW, and then we'll be given radar vectors to the ILS 11 at New Orleans. Let me show you this on our chart here. So Orlando, we're going westbound to Camden, Nost, Remus, Rossi, via the Yankee 280 to Redfin, then Quebec 105 to Harvey, and then we'll be given radar vectors, as I said, to the ILS 11. Should be a really nice flight, good weather today over the Gulf. So let's go ahead and hop back in the cockpit and do our pre-flight flows. Okay, let's check that our IRSs are, let's go up to the overhead panel here. Check that our IRSs are a nav, they are. Service interphone is off. Voice recorder switches to normal. Then we'll go ahead and do our stall warning test, number 1, number 2. And our mock airspeed warning test, number 1, number 2. Ensure that our parking brake is set. And let me test my oxygen mask here. That test was okay. Okay, let's go ahead and initiate our CDU here. Ident page 73700 with winglets. Engine rating 24,000. Air cycle data 1910. And it is active for the current date. Okay, let's go to the position initiation page. Reference airport, Kilo Mike Charlie Oscar, Orlando. Then we'll go to the route page. Kilo Mike Charlie Oscar, Kilo Mike Sierra Yankee for New Orleans 01, and that's our company route, so we can request that. And then let's check the route. Camden, Nost, Remus, Redfin, or sorry, let's go back. Remus, Yankee 280 to Redfin, then Quebec 105 to HRW. That looks accurate. Let's go ahead and activate, execute that. And then let's go to the departure page. We're located at airside 2, so we'll be departing via 35 left. 35 left, Orlando 4, and then via radar vectors to Camden, execute that. And then let's set up the arrival. ILS 11, we're not going to use a star today since we're coming in from the southwest. We're the southeast to New Orleans. Click on route. And we'll leave the disco there for now and execute. Okay, let's go to the perform init page. Let's get our zero fuel weight in. 112,600 pounds. That's good. FAR reserves 3.9. And cost index is 40. Initial cruise altitude is 360. And let me go ahead and get our cruise winds here. 270 at 040.
Hi, here are some water bottles for you. The security and safety checks are complete. Are we okay to start boarding?
Go for it.
Thanks. Clear to board.
Okay, that was our boarding request. I'm going to go ahead and use GSX to request boarding here and let that go on while we complete our pre-flight flows. You can see the baggage loading conveyor trucks pulling up to the aircraft there. Okay, let's hop back in here and complete our perf init page. And I say deviation is +9. For cruise, oops. I think we just put in 9. Okay, there we go. Alright, execute. N1 limit for takeoff. We'll take off with derated takeoff thrust of TO -2, and we'll climb out at climb 1 thrust.
Everything looks good.
Then we'll go to our takeoff page. We'll take off flaps 5, CG of 26%, V1 126, rotate at 128, and V2 133. Okay, CDU has been initiated. Next we'll go up to our glare shield here and set this up for departure. Flight director's on both the captain and first officer sides. Auto throttle armed. LNAV, VNAV armed. Top altitude is going to be 5,000 for the Orlando 4 departure. And IAS is going to be V2 plus 10, 143. And our glare shield is set up for the departure. Next, we'll set our trims here. Takeoff trim setting should be 5.1. So let's roll our trim wheel to 5.1. There we go. And once our FO completes its pre-flight procedure, we're going to go ahead and do our departure briefing and then call for the pre-flight checklist. And again, I think it's incredibly cool and one hell of a coincidence that I'm flying New Mexico 1 and somehow California 1 is parked to the right of me, and Louisiana 1, which represents the state we're flying to, where New Orleans is located, is somehow miraculously parked to the left of us. Did not plan that. Don't know how that happened, but kind of glad it did. It's a funny coincidence for sure. JetBlue Airways aircraft departing there. While that's going on, let me see if I can get live ADC going on in the background. Okay, our FO has completed his pre-flight procedure, so I'm going to go ahead and do our departure briefing here. Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, this is going to be a standard left seat takeoff with flaps 5 degrees and derated takeoff thrust off of runway 35 left. V1 is 126, we'll rotate at 128, and V2 is 133. The weather Orlando, winds are 060 at 9 knots, visibility 10 statute miles, few clouds 2,500, temperature 26, dew point 21, and altimeter is 3000. And let's go ahead and do our taxi brief here. So we're located at the Airside 2 terminal, and we're taxiing at 35 left. We're going to be taxiing via Golf 1, Golf, all the way down to Hotel 10, and then we'll hold short of 35 left for departure. During the departure, for any malfunctions before V1, such as engine failure, fire, loss of control, aircraft unsafe to fly, I will call reject, reject to reject the takeoff, apply maximum braking, exit off the runway if able, and advise ATC. For any malfunctions after V1, we will continue the takeoff and treat it as an in-flight emergency. I will handle the controls and advise ATC, and you back me up with the appropriate QRH procedures and checklists. Pending that, we're going to be departing via the Orlando 4 departure this evening, off of runway 35 left. And the procedure is as follows. We're going to climb on the ATC assigned heading to file or assigned route, and we'll expect vectors to the cambered intersection. We'll cross DME 2.0 south of the Orlando VOR at or about 2,300, then cross the Orlando Radial 115 at or about 2,600, cross the Orlando Radial 090 at or above 3,000. We'll maintain 5,000 feet as our top altitude and expect further clearance to the filed altitude or flight level 10 minutes after departure. And we'll make sure to set the Orlando VOR frequency 112.2. Any questions?
No questions.
Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested 100%.
Tested 100%. Navigation transfer and display switches. Normal, auto. Window heat, on. Pressurization mode selector, auto. Flight instruments.
Heading 051. Altimeter 3000.
Heading 051. Altimeter 3000. Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cutoff.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Okay, that was our pre-flight procedure, or pre-flight checklist completed.
Here's the load sheet for you.
Thanks. And our load sheet has just arrived, so we should have completed boarding by now, if not in the next couple of minutes or so. Let's go to the exterior view and check this out. Delta CRJ there taken off, Delta Express. Well, baggage loading is completed, and I suspect the passenger loading should have been completed also.
On behalf of our marvelous crew here, I would like to welcome you on board Southwest Airlines. We are preparing to close the doors and let the ship up, and we should be pushing back here very shortly.
Orlando
We are expecting a fairly smooth flight. However, there's something else. It may take time and arrive our destination. So again, welcome aboard, and we'll be talking to you shortly as the future. Just sit back, relax. Thank you for flying Southwest. Cabin crew, side doors automatic.
At this time, we ask that you power down and refrain from using your cell phone, radiator, or other electronic devices, as we consider with our on-site recording. If you have any questions as to these devices, use our flight today. Please refer to Welcome Aboard section on your Airways magazine. Flight attendants, prepare doors for departure for on-connected verified craft.
Okay, baggage doors are closed, and we're going to close the main cabin door in about a minute or so. And again, just an absolutely stunning livery here. Of all of Southwest Airlines' special state liveries, New Mexico 1 might be my absolute favorite. The sun symbol is called Zia, and it's basically a field of yellow, and the sun is highlighted in red. Beautiful design. All right, let's go ahead and check that our door is closed. It is. So let's go ahead and call for the before start procedure. Before start procedure.
Check.
While he does that, I'll go ahead and ask GSX for pushback here. And we'll go nose right, tail left. Okay, as before start procedure is complete, we'll call for the before start checklist. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist. Flight deck door closed and locked. MCP.
V2133. Heading.
Good day, Captain. The tug is connected now.
350.
Just a couple of minutes.
Altitude 5,000 feet.
Takeoff speeds.
V1126, VR128, V2133.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Rudder and aileron trim.
Free and 0.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Anti-collision light on. Before start checklist complete.
Tug is in position and bypass bed is inserted. Ready to push. Apron is clear. Release parking brake.
Okay, we'll start the clock and release our parking brakes.
Pushing now. The aircraft is clear. Start engines at your discretion.
Start sequence is 2, then 1.
Check.
Start engine 2, please.
Starting 2.
Okay, start selector to ground. And we'll wait for N2 to hit about 20% and then put the fuel control lever to idle. 20%, fuel control lever to idle. Oil pressure, N2, fuel flow, EGT, and N1 is starting to rise. And I probably should have used the quick edit pushback feature here. Oh well, I just hope it doesn't overshoot this this turn here. See what happens.
Starter cutout.
Okay, engine 1 is stabilizing. Start engine 1.
Starting 1.
I meant engine 2 is stabilizing. Now we're starting 1. Okay, N2. Oil pressure. %. Fuel control lever to idle. EGT. Fuel flow. And N1 is starting to come up. Okay, looks like that pushback worked out okay here.
Pushback complete. Set parking
Nice.
brake and confirm.
Okay, pushback complete. Parking brake is set.
Starter cutout.
Unlocking the gear.
And this beautiful Orlando International scenery, by the way, is a pretty old one, actually. It's from taxi to gate. But it still works well. And, you know, if you have GSX level 2, you can add jetways using GSX level 2. And I think there's some scenery modifications you can get online to get dynamic lighting at night. So you can update the scenery to make it feel up to date in today's P3D version 4.5 world. It is a really beautiful scenery and a pretty good representation of what this airport looks like in real life. And there's a train station or a tram station that has trams going down this tramway to each of the airside terminals. There's 4 of them. And it's pretty cool. Every once in a while, you'll see the trams actually moving. There you go. You actually see one moving now from airside 2 to the central landside terminal. It's just going to pass behind the tail there. Yeah, so it's a really good scenery. And besides this, I've got Orbx, cityscene, Orlando as well. And that has all the theme parks in the area and some other landmarks like downtown, etc. So pretty neat. Okay, our first officer is waiting patiently here, wondering what I'm blabbering about. Let's go ahead and command him to set flaps 5. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Then we'll do our flight controls check. Flight controls check.
Ready.
Full left, center, full
Check.
right, center,
Check.
full up, full down, center,
Check.
full left, pedals, full left, center,
Check.
full right, center.
Check.
Flight controls check completed. And he's doing his before taxi procedure here. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators on. Probe heat on. Anti-ice off. Isolation valve auto. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked. Checked.
Checked. Auto brake. RTO. Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Clear. Before taxi checklist complete.
Okay. Release the parking brake. Clear on the
Roger.
left.
Clear right.
And we'll start our taxi. So we're going to Golf 1, Golf, Hotel 10, and hold short of 35 left. That's Golf up ahead, so we're going to turn right here. Might have to give way to the Southwest 737-800 here. So we'll give way to him. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I just realized something. The AI traffic, this, has a speed limit on it, which is going to make following this guy an incredibly painful experience, because he's going to go maybe about 15 or 20 knots at most. I don't know if you all know this, but in real life, Southwest Airlines pilots have a reputation of taxiing at really high speeds. So most airlines, on straight taxiways like this one, I think typically have a taxi speed limit of around 30 knots.
Okay,
Southwest Airlines pilots have a reputation for going pretty much as fast as they need to. So good for passengers, I guess. It just kind of expedites things. Good for air traffic control, expedites things. But the AI traffic in P3D, of course, is not yet at that level of fidelity of simulation yet. So we'll do maybe around 40 knots or so. Runway entry procedure.
Check. crew, take your seats.
Pretty cool to see that other Southwest 737-700 landing on 35 right over there. Takeoff.
Check.
Okay, we'll keep it rolling. %, N1, Toga. N1, Toga.
Check. Thrust set.
Checked.
knots.
Checked.
V1.
Rotate. Free.
Gear up. VNAV speed showing in our pitch mode. And Command A.
Check.
Okay, an ATC at this point will probably instruct us to contact departure. Okay, and then we're going to be cleared via radar vectors to Camden, so I'm going to simulate that by going direct Camden. Flaps 1. Flaps up.
Flaps up.
And again, this is the Orbx cityscene Orlando scenery here. I think it's pretty nice. It's pretty representative of how this part of the world looks. I hear another YouTuber, Frugal, of course, Frugal Sim. He is from the Orlando area and probably would have a much better sense of whether or not this is really true to life. But from my visits to Orlando, I kind of feel like it's pretty accurate. Okay, we'll call for the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds. On. Packs. Auto. Landing.
We'll roll our
flaps.
altitude selector up to flight level 360 for cruise. Go for it. Downtown Orlando there, off to the right side of the airplane. Very cool. Okay, 10,000 foot checks. Let's hop back in the cockpit here. Landing lights are off.
To release the cabin.
Go for it. We'll set our CDU to the progress page. About 96 nautical miles to go to the top of climb. And we'll be at the top of climb in about 13 minutes or so. Actually, while we're at it, our optimal flight level is actually flight level 393, so we could climb all the way up to 400. And I believe, when I was looking on FlightAware, that some of the rail-world Southwest flights this evening were using that cruising flight level. So let's go ahead and do that, actually. We'll reset our cruise altitude to flight level 400. Okay, so 400. Execute. Go back to the progress page. Now we've got 125 to go, and 2210 is when we'll reach our top of climb. Let's reset our altitude selector to flight level 400. Okay, we're all set up. As we leave Orlando behind there. Beautiful evening to fly, just a few clouds. But otherwise, visibility is really, really good. Couldn't ask for a better evening to fly. And I can't get over just how beautiful this livery looks, especially with the new Southwest logo on the tail. Looks amazing. We're approaching our transition altitude of flight level 180 in just about half a minute here.
Transition altitude set standard.
Standard set. Okay, I'm going to hard mute FS2 crew so I don't give my first officer any instructions by accident. And so we're all set up here for the climb and eventually cruise. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the external view and activate ChasePlane's cinematic camera mode here. And give you some nice uninterrupted tracking shots. Enjoy.
Spirit Wing 716, turn to the left, direct, nope, on course.
Let's turn back now, south forward, Spirit Wing 716.
Left turn, 0 southwest, 726.
Archer Spirit Wing 676, 1,500, 25,000. 16,000,
Right turn 270, United left right. Good, Guano, whenever one, southwest 56. Southside 1127 to 719, 6,000. One 13545, Southwest 1336. That's how you now, left down. Good visual approach, runway 35 right, left down. Four visual approach. Number 617.
Okay, 1,000 to go. And to save time off our route, ATC has cleared us direct to the Nady intersection. So we'll go ahead and put that in. And for now, at least, we'll just put Turtle in after Harvey. But we will be given radar vectors once we get closer to Harvey. So let me do that. Go back to your progress page. 5 miles to the top of climb. And even though we're 4,000 feet above our initial planned cruise altitude of flight level 360, the VINs at flight level 400 are about the same. So it was 270 at 40 knots at 360, and it's 27842 knots at flight level 400. So we are good there. Ground speed is showing 414 knots. we are about 280 nautical miles from the top of descent, which we will reach in about 40 minutes at 2250 Zulu. We'll be on the ground in New Orleans at 2315 Zulu or so, about 400 nautical miles to go, and we'll be landing with about 8,300 pounds of fuel on board. Okay, we're all good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and settle in for the long cruise here for the next 40 minutes or so before we reach our top of descent, and I'll see you again to do the approach brief about 5 minutes or so from our top of descent.
Oh, that rhythm, blue rhythm has brought me Julia Day. Can't get enough of blue drag. Oh, got so on fire. I know that now that I'm tired of that low down drag.
Okay, welcome back. We're coming up on our top of descent here in just about 5 minutes or so. So we're going to go ahead and start setting up for the descent. I'm going to ask the first officer to start doing so on his side. Let's start setting up for the descent.
Check.
And he is going to initiate his descent procedure there. So I've set our minimums for approach 204 feet on the barometer, decision altitude. Transition level, of course, is going to be flight level 180 in North America. And I'm going to basically go ahead and do our approach brief now. Inlet ref, flaps 30, 130 knots. VREF is 130, and auto brake is level 2. Okay. Are you ready for the approach brief?
I'm ready for the brief.
Okay, New Orleans weather. Winds are out of the east-southeast, 110 at 7 knots. Visibility 10 statute miles. Few clouds at 1,500 and 3,000. Scattered clouds at flight level 250. Temperature 28, dew point 22. And altimeter is 2998. And let's brief the approach plate. Okay, we're arriving via the ILS, or approaching via the ILS runway 11 approach today. Localizer frequency, India Mike Sierra Yankee is 109.9er. The final approach course is 106. final approach fix, Mudbug, will be crossed at 2,000 feet at DME 8.3 from the localizer. And the minimums for Cat 1, Cat C are decision altitude of 204 feet. And a runway visual range 18 or half statute mile. Airport elevation is 4 feet. And if we need to execute the missed approach procedure, I will call go around flaps 15, and we will raise the gear, flaps on schedule, and execute the after takeoff checklist once we're cleaned up. The missed approach procedure is as follows. We'll climb to 800 feet on runway heading, then a climbing right turn to 2,000 feet on heading 130, and inbound on the Leeville VOR radial 354 to the Safes intersection, which is at DME 38.5 from Leeville VOR, and we'll hold there. And that's it for the approach brief. Any questions?
None.
Okay, we're about 17 nautical miles from the top of descent. ATC is probably going to clear us down to, let's just roll this down to about 12,000 on the altitude selector, and we'll go lower as we approach 12,000. And I'll call for the descent checklist here. Descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization. Landing altitude is 0 feet. Recall checked. Auto brake level 2. Landing data.
VREF is 130. Minimums 204 feet.
VREF 130. Minimums 204 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Okay, descent checklist is complete. And once we're about 4 nautical miles from the top of descent, I'm going to go ahead and hit the descent now function on the CDU to initiate our descent. Okay, we're 4 nautical miles out from the top of descent. Let's go ahead and hit descent now on the descent page. Execute. And we've initiated a gradual 1,000 foot per minute descent at this point. Once we intersect the, once our flight path actually intercepts the VNAV guidance path, we'll descend a lot faster basically at whatever the VNAV function is commanding. Okay, about 121 nautical miles from New Orleans, and we're going to be arriving in about 25 minutes or so. Intercepting the VNAV commanded path here, descending at about 2,600 foot per minute or so, 2,700 now. We'll let it do its thing. Thrust levers retarded. Looking good.
Good order.
See a little bit of the bayou down below.
Lower.
8.02 with transaction to good night to South 179.
Sir, you got time for a question? What's that air produce origination flight?
Passing through flight level 210. Okay, transition altitude.
Transition level.
Altimeters.
Altimeters reset. 2998.
And that's correct. That's the local field altimeter setting at Louis Armstrong. It's 29908. So I'll call for the approach checklist here. Approach checklist.
Altimeters.
29908 set.
2998 set. Approach checklist complete.
Okay, and we're about 13 nautical miles from Harvey. Once we cross Harvey, we're going to turn to a heading of, let's say 280, and then we'll track 290 parallel to the ILS, parallel but in the opposite direction to the ILS approach course, and eventually turn perpendicular 90 degrees and then turn inbound for the ILS. That's the plan. And I'm going to roll our altitude down to excuse me, altitude down to let's say 6,000. So we continue our descent here. Going to use our speed brake once again to keep our speed at the VNAV descent commanded speed of 284 knots. Okay, we've crossed Harvey. I'm going to go heading select. We'll track heading 280. And speed intervention, flight level, or speed 240 in the IAS selector. And we're going to go level change mode down to 6,000. I'm going to turn on my main panel lighting here.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
As the sun is setting. There's New Orleans Louis Armstrong Airport down there. I'm using LatinVFR scenery. And LatinVFR has actually modeled the new terminal, which was actually supposed to open back in May, but I think the target date in the real world keeps slipping. So they discovered some new problems, and apparently now the date is slipped to sometime this month, assuming all goes well. Downtown New Orleans back there. But I think we're just going to go ahead and, you know what, we'll play it by ear. We'll probably park at the new terminal. We are running parallel right now in the opposite direction to runway 11. And when we come in on final, we'll have a beautiful view of downtown New Orleans straight ahead on the approach. Should be nice. This is one of the nicer, more recent sceneries from LatinVFR. Full PBR effects and everything. On the runway tarmac, or sorry, on the tarmac and the runway surfaces. It's pretty neat. Okay, approaching 6,000 feet. I'm going to roll us down to 4,000 on the altitude selector. And I'm going to go to a heading of 290. Actually, let's make it 285, 286. You know what, 290 is fine. There's a bit of a crosswind from the right anyway. And we're going to continue our descent down to about 3,000 feet. Get our speed brakes out to increase our rate of descent. I'm going to turn my logo light on here.
Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin is secure.
Thanks. Beautiful sunset here in the bayou.
10,000 to level.
Really pretty. Okay, gets close our speed brakes. Speed brakes retracted. And I'll slow to 200 knots. Oops. All right, we'll turn right here to a heading of 020. I'll put in Mudbug as the next intersection, or the next waypoint in the map. And we'll get ready to intercept the ILS here for runway 11. 109.9er set in the set in nav 1, and 106 for the final approach course. Okay, flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Turn to heading 060. Arm the approach. And we're DME 16.0. I'm going to reduce speed to 180 knots.
Glide slope alive.
Glide slope is alive. Localizer capture.
Check. Localizer alive.
Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Glide slope capture.
Check.
Set missed approach altitude.
Missed approach altitude set.
That's 2,000, that's good. And you can see the runway up ahead.
American 1705, traffic 4 miles west of the field, eastbound, the medevac helicopter 1,500. They're going to be calling southbound the field at 1,500. American 1705.
We've gone ahead and tuned tower, by the way, using live ATC for the background chatter at the moment.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
Beautiful.
American 968, Roger.
Okay, we're about 8.5 DME, and the
height checked.
threshold is about 1.8 DME, so I'm going to roll our indicated airspeed down to VREF plus 5, 135 knots. Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 15.
Flaps 15.
Arm the speed brake. Flaps 30.
Flaps 30.
Double 662, turn one on Echo, taxi department of first. We have a going.
And I'll call for the landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down.
Flaps.
Flaps 30, green light.
Landing checklist complete.
And we have a visual. Visual.
Check.
Landing.
Check.
1,000.
Okay, so he's turned on the landing lights, and we are all set for landing here. I'll disconnect the autopilot and the auto thrust at about 500 feet and land it manually. You can see downtown New Orleans sort of in the distance. Superdome, you can definitely make out the Superdome back there. Pretty cool. Really like this view of the approach. Yeah, I guess you can't really make out downtown that well, but you can definitely see the Superdome back there. Okay, disconnecting the autopilot and the auto thrust. Manual control.
Minimums.
There's downtown popping into existence now. Okay.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Airbag 4, no traffic observed between you and SWA Hospital, the wind in International, 0804.
Speed brake up.
999, change it by Frank Cooper.
Reversers normal. Auto brake disarm.
Manual braking.
Check. 60 knots.
And we'll turn left here.
Check.
Track the speed brakes. Turn off the flight director. And since we exited left, actually, we'll taxi to the new terminal. Right on Golf. After landing checklist.
Check.
Okay to clean up.
Check.
And LatinVFR has already, I think, had, LatinVFR has already modeled all the new gate assignments for whenever this terminal opens. So right up ahead, you can see a bunch of Southwest airplanes. And I'm assuming that's the Southwest gate, or the Southwest terminal, or the Southwest set of gates there. So I'm gonna go park by one of these airplanes there. Actually, I'll go around and park where that other airplane is pulling out of right now. And that special state livery there, I believe, is Lone Star 1 for Texas. Pretty cool. Whoops. Straight up ahead, by the way, is the old terminal. Still being used as of today in the rail world until the new terminal has all its issues worked out and is ready for the public. Should have turned off the weather radar a while back. Turn that off now. That special livery up ahead, that's Tennessee 1. I think he's giving way to us, so I'll go around him here.
Brooke 4672, maintain 4000, still way out, still on ass.
Go slightly past him.
Your approach, pick up 40.
Lights and doors.
Check.
And once I'm clear of him, I'm gonna hop into that alley that he just came out of. Okay, I'll take that open goat. Oh, sorry, that open gate that he just vacated.
Starting 1247, Orange First, good evening. 8 is Mike. ILS 11, cross RDAS, error above 11000.
And let's see if I can figure out what gate number that is. Bravo 10, 8. Assuming it's Bravo 6. Or Bravo 4.
3 minutes.
Let's check it out. It's Bravo 4. Okay. I'll let you know. Yep, that's correct. Okay, so that's the one we're going to turn into. This is a beautifully modeled terminal from LatinVFR. The interiors are modeled and everything. It looks really great. Sorry about that. Let's pull forward until she has to stop. There we go. Parking brake set. And I'll wait on him to connect the GPU, and then we'll shut down. Okay, ground power connected. And ground power has been engaged. Turn on the dome light. Let's go ahead and put fuel control levers to cut off, and we'll shut down the engine. Stop the clock. Reset it. Total block time was 1 hour 45 minutes. And he's going through his shutdown flows there. I'll call for the GSX deboarding here. Jetway 1 to left entry forward. And you can see the terminal interior is pretty nicely modeled. There's lots of people in there. Seats for them to sit at. Looks pretty nice. And all the PBR effects, of course, and all the jetways. It's really good looking. Okay, shutdown checklist. Shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps, off. Room heat, off. Hydraulic panel, set. Flaps.
Up. Up.
Parking brake.
Set.
Engine start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Off. Shutdown checklist complete.
Okay, so we're shut down. We've arrived in New Orleans. Beautiful evening here. Baggage carts are pulling up. So again, hey, as always, thank you so much for watching this quick flight on Southwest Airlines from Orlando to New Orleans. And again, this New Mexico 1 livery is probably my favorite of all the special Southwest state liveries. Amazing livery for the 737. All right, hey, you have a great one. Thanks for watching. Take care.
right from my arms. Still I seek the thrill of your charms. Lips that once were mine, tender eyes that shine. They will light my way tonight. I'll see you in my dream. my dreams. I'll hold you in my dreams. Someone took you right from my arms. Still I seek the thrill of your charms. Lips that once were mine. Tender eyes that shine. They will light my way tonight.